Welcome back, guys. It's Cricut time. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys along with me on how I created this beautiful 24-inch wood round home sweet home sign. It's a beautiful piece of home decor that would look great on anyone's wall. Let's go ahead and get started. To begin this project, I needed to kind of map out what I was going to do. I went ahead and got into Cricut Design Space and designed the words that I wanted to use. I wanted home, both home, to be very plain, straightforward read, and then the sweet to be a cute little cursive, sweet little word. So I went ahead and created those in there and got it all laid out so that I could print it out, or cut it out, sorry, on the Cricut chipboard. So this is the thicker one. I specifically got my Cricut Maker to be able to cut out the thicker materials like this. So I wanted to practice that, and this is the project I chose to practice that on. So I went ahead and followed all of the instructions. I used my strong mat. I stuck it down on the paper really good. I taped it down on all four corners. You can see in the video there's a little heart that was cut out of the top. I did a little test run just to make sure that my knife blade was working. I had never used it prior to this project, so I wanted to make sure everything was lining up the way it was and kind of what to expect from it once it started. After I cut that out, I got my home sweet home all laid out on my mat and let that cut. While that was cutting, which I believe took probably 40 plus minutes, I ended up stopping it before the full, I think I let it run for 18 passes of the 24, and I don't even think it needed that many because it's a brand new blade. But it worked out beautiful. It cut so flawlessly. It turned out amazing on how well this machine can cut this material. So while that was going and cutting and getting everything into place, I went ahead and stained my 24-inch round. It was just a natural color. So I decided to use the product that I'm currently obsessed with. It is, one second, I'll show you. Okay, it's the color Flagstone. It says Varathane at the top, which I hope I'm saying that right, but it is a Rust-Oleum product. So you can see down here at the bottom, it's made by Rust-Oleum. I ship Rust-Oleum anytime I can. I have never had any issues with their products. I think they are such good quality, and I've never failed me. I have redone kitchen cabinets. I have done numerous projects. I've used stains, I've used spray paints, I've used paints, I've used clear coats. I've done so many things with their different products, and I have never had them fail me. So if you're searching for a good brand that you just want to be reliable, Rust-Oleum is the one for you. Like I said, I use them in all aspects of my crafting in different ways. So that's the color that I use. It's like a grayish brownish, which you can see in the video. I went ahead and stained my round, and then I waited for the chipboard to finish cutting out because I wanted to lay out the words, kind of see what spacing I needed and stuff. And then I went ahead and painted a black line through the middle, like black chunk, I guess, through the middle. That way, when my words go down, which I painted them all white because I really wanted them to pop off. So I did 2 coats of white on them just to make sure it wasn't streaky or weird or anything. And then I painted my black down on my sign. And then I placed all of the words out onto the sign. This is important because you kind of want to picture what it's going to look like before you just start sticking stuff down. Because even if you can pop those letters back off, you're going to have marks left behind. You're going to have to repaint, possibly even sand down that spot to make it all look cohesive if it's not where you want it to be. So my suggestion to you would be to just lay it all down before you glue it. That way you can kind of envision what it's going to look like, where it all needs to fall, and kind of go from there. In order to attach these letters to the sign, I use my hot glue gun, trusty hot glue gun, but I also use some E6000. Now this is like similar to like a super glue, basically. And what I did is I put the E6000 on the edges of the letters and then super glue in the middle. Or sorry, not super glue, hot glue in the middle. And the reason I'm doing this is because the E6000 is going to take a little bit longer to cure and to stick. So I wanted the hot glue to be my initial hold it in place. That way it's not moving or sliding around until the E6000 sets. So I did that for each one of the letters just very carefully, took my time. Not obviously can't take too long because if the hot glue dries, then it's not helping you out any. But I made sure all of my letters were spaced very nicely. I made sure that they were, pretty straight across the board. And I did this with every single one, including the sweet and the little heart, which I think is just a cute little touch to put it all in place. After that, I wanted to seal it, not necessarily to make it like waterproof or anything, but just to kind of help all of the paint set and everything and stay in place and make it a little bit scratch resistant so it doesn't get beat up at all. And just kind of give it an overall set. For that, I'll use the Rust-Oleum, of course. I chose a matte clear sealant because I didn't want any weird glossy spots. Sometimes with like a glossy clear coat, if you don't do it perfectly even, you'll get a little spots that are shinier than others. To get rid of that problem, you can just use a matte. So that's what I chose to do, and I did it in every direction. So I did it straight on, and then from the side, and then from the other side, and then I turned it upside down and did it that way too. That way I could hit all of the different sections, all of the letters, from all of the different angles, just to make sure it got a nice, good coating. For the final touch, I made a pretty buffalo checkered bow, which if you don't know how to make a bow, I will link in the description a very easy tutorial that I made to show you exactly how to make a bow. Whether you've never made one before in your life or you have a little experience, I promise you, if you just walk through that tutorial, you shouldn't have any issues in the future of making your own bow. It's so easy to do if you have the right material. So go check it out. Get yourself a pretty bow. So yeah, I just went ahead and attached that to the top, just kind of centered with some hot glue, and it is finished. I think it turned out so good. I really love the chipboard. It was so easy to cut. I didn't really have to worry about it when it was in the machine. It just does its thing, and I just watched it closely just to make sure that no weird spots. So as it cuts, like the little inserts of like the letters. So let me grab the sign real quick. How cute is that? So cute. Okay, so what I'm saying is like this, for instance, right here at the E, where there's little thing. So as that cuts, it would start to pop up, and some of them would get loose and kind of be riding around on the mat. So all I did was kind of like, once it was out and away from the blade in a very safe manner, it was kind of just like flick that part off. And then, excuse me, there was another part, I believe it was on the M right here, like where the pointy part was. That part started to peel back a little and was kind of getting caught as the mat was going back and forth, which wasn't a big deal because that part of the board I wasn't using, so it wasn't affecting the M at all, but I was worried it was going to rip and like cause some issues. So all I did is whenever that part was kind of out of the machine is I very quickly put another piece of masking tape over it. So I just like laid it flat. That way it would hold it down and stop getting caught, and that worked fine because it will cut right through the masking tape and not cause any issues, but it just kept it from ripping more, possibly causing issues. Like I said, I don't know if it would have, but it was making me a little nervous. But other than that, I didn't have any issues with it. I was expecting there to be some kind of like learning curve, and maybe I just got lucky, but it worked beautiful. I love it. I plan to use that for a lot of projects. I don't really have anything else to say. I really appreciate you guys coming back to see me, checking out my latest. I think it turned out super cute. I'm very proud of it. Bow tutorial. Go check it out. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love your support and have you come back and be notified whenever I have new videos posted. I would love to hear your guys' comments, concerns, whatever you guys have going on. If you like this project, let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up. I'm going to take you in for a closer look, and I will see you next time.